Hello, and welcome to another edition of Marketing for Financial Advisors. I'm your host today, Donovan Stahl. Joined with me today is advisor, president, founder of Scott Tucker Solutions, Scott Tucker himself. Scott, we have been, in contact, working with each other, seeing each other at different events, and so forth. The last, 4 or 5 years, give or take. So certainly happy to have you on here with us. And thank you. Thanks for being a part of this today.
Thanks for having me.
Scott has done a really, really good job of what we call in the digital marketing industry of retargeting people. Basically, once he gets in front of someone, he doesn't stop getting in front of them by so many different facets. And I think that Scott is probably a really, really good example of what retargeting looks like from the digital industry side of things. So, Scott, I just kind of want to ask you, when did you start seeing that retargeting was some of the most effective advertising or marketing that you could do for your business?
So we teach a lot of local workshops. Some of them, sometimes we teach at dinner. Sometimes that's off a mail, or sometimes it's off Facebook. But what we do best at is, and we're in Chicago, so it's kind of an expensive market. There's more people in Chicagoland than we could ever help. There's 9.5 million people. And people will only drive so far. So we really target a 6-mile radius of our office. In that 6-mile radius, there's 660,000 people. Of course, they're not all our target market, but that's the population, how dense the population is. And because the population is dense, the driving is aggravating. So people will go about 6 miles, and that's it.
Sure. So, and just to cut you off 1 second, you pretty much go with about the standard, what everybody else does, 55 plus, usually 250 in assets and up, give or take.
Yeah, and we could probably talk about it a little bit, because we talk about taxes quite a lot. We get people, 250 would be pretty well the lower end. We do get a lot of appointments from the Facebook stuff that we do with you for live events. We get a lot of people at 500,000 and $1 million plus. Probably half our appointments are $1 million plus, and some of those are awesome. 2 million, 3 million. So it's kind of all over. But if you talk about taxes, you do get more of those higher cases. So we have folks that have gone to something before, and we have their email, their name, their phone number, and whenever we can, we come up with an excuse some way or another to get their address too. Just the more data, the better. I believe with Facebook, off an email, if it's the email they use for Facebook, they can figure out who they are and target them. But the more data you give Facebook, the easier they're going to be able to find them, to show your ads to them. So why retargeting is so great is it's a lot cheaper than going after. We have some ads that go to a 6-mile radius of 55 plus, but then what's more affordable is if you have a house list of people. We've got about 12,000 people on our house database. We can show our ads to them as an audience much more cheaply and so much more often. So there's kind of two different worlds. There's the 6-mile radius. It's not retargeting for 55 plus, but then there's our house list of about 12,000 people, and retargeting them with white papers, downloads. We're with Advisors Excel, and so they make that easy for us. So we have 5 different downloads that folks can get, and they'll see those ads periodically. Every weekend, we have a radio show on Sunday mornings, but every weekend we'll run a video Facebook ad that we shot at the radio studio that looks like we're on the air talking to you as you scroll through Facebook. Here we are, Jim and myself. We're in the studio and we're on the air type of look, and we talk about something about taxes for 1 minute, and I have a sign that says click the button as I'm talking. So then people click the button, it takes them to our website, and they can listen to all our radio shows there. So just a lot of ways just keep reminding people that you still exist. We do the email drips. Everybody gets there's twice a week. We have an email. We have 2 emails per week that go out. But not everybody sees their email. A lot of those go to spam too. But it's kind of if you think about some advisors say, well, maybe I should get a billboard in my town or whatnot. Facebook, I think of as a baby boomer billboard. And when you retarget in your house list, you're not paying for the 25-year-olds, and you're also not paying for the 60-year-old who will never go to your thing. You're paying for the 60-year-old who went to your thing last week or 2 years ago. So retargeting is very effective and very affordable.
So you brought up something here, and I think it's a valid point. So you have that house list. You say it's about 12,000, give or take, on there. if you have all their information on there, why wouldn't you just email them, right? I mean, if you have
Yes.
it, why not?
Yeah, so it's getting to be where I think you could email your mom and you end up in her spam folder, right? Or even if you emailed her, then you have to call her and say, "Did you get the email?" My mom's not on Facebook, but my uncle's on Facebook. So if you want him to see something, put it on Facebook.
Sure.
So people are going to Facebook to see cat videos and pictures of their grandkids, and then here you are in their stream, and just you have to remind people that you're around. We've had people go to an event and then a year later call us off an email drip or a Facebook thing they saw, and like, oh yeah, I came to your thing a year ago. Now I need help. Now I need the help. So, and we've had them do where they've been on, retargeted for a couple of years too. But people aren't always ready when you're ready. So it's just something that makes a lot of sense. You've spent so much money on marketing. Why aren't you spending pennies on the Facebook retargeting?
No, that's such a valid point. I think a lot of advisors tend to think that the moment that you start doing Facebook or any sort of digital marketing, you have to throw so much money at it to make it cost effective right out of the gate. When in theory, as long as you can just do minimum spend on Facebook's $1 a day, if you can justify even $10 a day throughout the entire year, can you justify $4,000 into just retargeting over and over and over again? I think most people would say that they would be able to do that for what it's worth. But, like you said, things are going to spam constantly, or, some people even have just different, yeah, emails that they use for business. I'm going to give you an email that only I associate with Scott Tucker, right? So if I'm getting something, I know it's only going to that email. But then for Facebook, I have my certain, email and so forth. So I think that's so vital that you're able to do all these different facets. And do you think that it's a benefit then to constantly drip on these people and then see you in every which direction? Or do you think it's more beneficial to just say, you know what, all the attention's on Facebook, we're going to stick there. All the attention's on email, we're going to stick there, or your radio show? Do you think it's best to do that combination of retargeting?
I think you should have as many marketing funnels or methods as make sense for you. Not everybody listens to the radio. Not everybody checks their email even. Not everybody's on Facebook. But we've been seeing. We started. We came down to Orlando 3 months before COVID happened, before it really happened, and so it was about December of 2018, I think. And we started just retargeting our house list, and we've seen it month by month get easier and easier at our workshops. People are more familiar with us; they know better who we are, even if they've never seen us before, and they make appointments more easily. They keep the appointments better. They become clients more easily. Something we do that I guess I forgot to mention. So we'll do our Facebook promotions with you for the live events.
Mm-hmm.
What we do best at is we do a Social Security workshop at a community center or a community college campus, and we'll do it on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. till noon. And we'll promote that on Facebook, kind of like a video like this, where I'm just waving and, hey, click the button. Hey, this is Scott Tucker. We're teaching a Social Security workshop. Here's when it is, but you need your RSVP, this sort of thing. Well, as that comes through and all those folks come onto the Google Sheet, what we do, we promote it for about maybe 2 or 3 weekends before the class. What we do, though, each Thursday is we go and we grab all the names, emails, and phone numbers off that Google Sheet, and we import it into Infusion. That's the CRM that we use. But every Thursday, what we do, we're adding these new names of these new students. Maybe we've never heard of. They never heard of us before. They saw an ad one time. So we add that all to our Infusion database. So now we can do the weekly drip emails on them.
Sure.
Twice a week drip emails. But then we also on Thursdays we export what we call all Infusion. All of our Infusion names includes clients, prospects, students that haven't met us yet, and we will retarget them all weekend with like our radio show video ad. And we'll retarget them with the white paper downloads and things. So they start seeing the name of the company and my name, and they start seeing the logo. In some cases, maybe they download something, maybe they read an email or two before the workshop. So you're showing up at the workshop like a local celebrity. You're the most famous person nobody's ever heard of. So in Chicago, that's it's so difficult and so expensive here. I can't be on TV here. I asked Advisors Excel what would it cost to be on 2 minutes of TV on Fox 32 on either Saturday or Sunday morning. Just do that 2 minutes each weekend. How much would that cost? And they said it's going to be between $200,000 and $300,000 per year. And we don't know that it's going to create a lot of leads for you. So we don't spend that much on so we want to be famous to people that are 55 plus that are 6 mile radius of us. We don't want to be famous with really anybody else.
Everyone, right? So give or take, everybody in that database that you have that you're retargeting with the different ads, whether it's a white paper, a radio show, whatever else, roughly how much does that cost you to retarget people like that?
Not a heck of a lot. We do spend more on so radio here. We're on a smaller conservative talk station. There's 2 conservative talk stations here that you can buy time on. We're on the smaller of the 2 because the bigger one is a 50,000 watt flamethrower. It reaches Iowa and Michigan and all too big.
Right.
I mean, it's probably reaching 15 million people. And, so that's, and then you're buying time there. You're competing with the advertisers like Home Depot. It's just the dollars being thrown at them are insane at that station.
Much deeper pockets there.
Yeah. So on the smaller station, it's smaller in the geography, which is perfect for us. We don't want to be too big and broad. It's smaller in the geography that the signal covers, and it's like a Sean Hannity type station. So they're it's a political talks deal. So they resonate well with the tax messages and things like that. So on the radio, we spend $1,250 per weekend just to be on the air. So it's about $5,000 to $6,000 per month just to our house list of us doing the video in the studio at the radio station. So we'll spend $100 a weekend with them, and then we'll spend $100 a weekend on a 55 plus 10 mile radius. So we have a house list and a non-house list, and we'll spend $100 on each of those. And then those video radio show ads will go ahead and they'll run on Saturdays, like 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. and again on Sunday, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Because that's kind of the idea of when my associate advisor says, why don't we run the radio ads all week? Well, because people, they know those kind of shows play on the weekend. It kind of jives with, are they on the air right now?
Right.
So if I'm running at 6 a.m. on a Wednesday, they're like, he's not on the air now. That's not that show. It's this other show right now. That doesn't make sense. So it fits better. So it kind of fuzzies, when are these guys on the air on the radio? Well, let's just click now and listen.
And that also helps knowing your audience, right? I mean, we talked about this in a previous podcast where it's like, I'm not going to run an ad in Denver, Colorado showing beaches all day long, right? It's not the appropriate setting. If their retirement in their mind is talking about, hiking and enjoying time in that log cabin and whatever else, use the appropriate messaging, right? So I think that fits exactly there. The same for you guys. So, hey, if we're going to be talking about taxes, this is a great, spot for us to be. If our radio show isn't until the weekend, let's not promote it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, leading up to it. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. There's a study that says that most people will actively engage or buy a certain product after seeing it a total of 11 times. Before we started recording, you and I talked about some of your analytics, and we looked at your numbers. On average, your particular audience sees your ads about 8 times each. So maybe not necessarily the 11, but do you think that them seeing your ads over and over and over and over and over again make a big difference in terms of getting people to not only register for an event, but actually stick once they sign up?
Yeah, I think it makes everything easier. Now, you know more about my analytics than I do. So what happened? How eight times and how often? What happens?
Yeah, so it's about 8 times per ad that you run. So each person will roughly see your ad about 8 times during its it's per workshop. So that's your entire analytics. So going off a little course here. Yeah. So looking at all of your analytics, all of the ads that you run collectively, each person in your wheelhouse will roughly see your digital ads about 8 times each, which I still think is phenomenal, right? I mean, you might see one good ad and you're like, oh, that was cool. And then you'll never see it again because they're trying to reach such a giant, throw out that fishing net, see what we can pull in. But you already know who your audience is, and you're saying, I'm just going to hit them over and over and over again. But so as we were saying, you think that makes it easier, just getting them to stick at this point?
Yeah, we'll run an ad at a demographic like a 55 plus 6 mile radius for like white papers, and then they may opt in and get in our infusion that way, and then they get retargeted forever on the cheaper ads that we run that are the retargeting of our house list because now they're on our house list. Yeah, I mean, if you think about how do you buy a car, you don't see it one time and buy it. You don't find a nice neighborhood or a style house you like and buy that right away. Usually something kind of tumbles around in your brain a little bit. Uh,
Hmm.
People don't tend to give their life savings to somebody they've never heard of. And why not go to your workshops having already been retargeted prior to the workshop? So yeah, you signed up, you saw like maybe you don't know me from Adam and you just happen to be 55 plus 6 mile radius and you're scrolling through and I'm waving and pointing and clicking and saying, hey, we have a social security workshop or we have a women's workshop coming up and you register for that. Well, that's well and good. And, we're going to give you the text reminders, the phone calls, the emails and that. But what if now you're getting retargeted and for like the next 2 weeks, you keep saying like, oh, these guys have a radio show. Oh, here's another white paper from the same people. I know that logo. That's our company logo. This Scott Tucker guy, he's famous. Where did he come from? We've had people say that, like, I never heard of you before. And now like every day I'm seeing you and I'm at your
See you
thing.
everywhere. Yeah.
See Tuesday. And then they don't, but it just softens the beachhead, makes it so much easier, makes everything.
Hmm. And I'm sure too is like, like you said, hey, you're the local celebrity that no one's ever heard of, right? But then by the time they walk into that seminar, they've already seen you, potentially 8 times up to that point, but now they're actually seeing you face to face. There's a level of comfort. You like you said, you've already softened them up. There's that level of comfort, and I think this is such a strong point for all advisors, right? Don't be afraid to put your face out there. You want to be the face. You want to be the person at the front of the seminar saying, this is what we talk about. This is what we teach. This is how we can help you. Why aren't you putting your face out there more so? And, for those listening and watching today, Scott does a fantastic job with his invites to his seminars on Facebook. If you ever get a chance to see those, absolutely textbook style of inviting someone to a workshop. There's really no better way to put it out there. And so, Scott, I would say, moving forward, as the generation changes a little bit, the demographics change, we have a new influx of 50 to 55-year-olds that are getting ready to retire in the coming years. Do you still think that the whole retargeting, Facebook, and all of that is still going to be effective, or do you think that maybe we need to start turning towards some other mediums? I know this wasn't a question we prepped for, but kind of thinking of something along those lines. Do you think there might be a different direction we might be heading?
There could, but we didn't know 20 years ago. I guess there was no Facebook, or else it was so new that nobody had ever heard of it. Maybe 15 years ago, wasn't really on it.
Sure.
I'm 49 years old. My fiance is 38. We're both on Facebook. So I think we've got a good long ways to go before people aren't. Some people are on more than others, whatever. The baby boomers definitely are on Facebook. And now we're starting to get 55 is now not baby boomer anymore. It's like the older end of the Gen X, but there's still a strong usage of Facebook. And if it's not going to be Facebook, it might be something else, some sort of Google retargeting or something. Who knows what it might be.
Sure.
But it's very effective. I was thinking about being the most famous person nobody's ever heard of. One of our clients went to get her hair done, and she goes, "Oh yeah, I have a financial advisor." And the hairdresser goes, "Oh, who's that?" And she goes, "Oh, it's Scott Tucker." And the hairdresser goes, "Oh, he's great. I love his stuff." So now she's telling the client how great I am. And I'm like, "Who's your hairdresser?" And I'm like writing down the name and I'm looking her up. Oh wait, she's in our database. She's on our
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So we've been retargeting the hairdresser lady and she's like, "Oh, he's terrific."
And so, another part, just people being, laughing about that and so forth on your actual post, not necessarily your ads, but your actual post. Are you constantly posting something on your business page that is always a serious message of taxes or inflation or social security?
Not usually. Usually, silly cartoons and memes that I see on my personal Facebook thing. If it's appropriate for our audience, then sometimes I'll just save that image and then take it over to our business page and post it there. There's a thing called there's an organization, the Tax Foundation, taxfoundation.org. Sometimes they'll have you can send them for like their weekly email. Sometimes they'll have a cool map about taxes or something. And so I'll grab that and post that on the business page. Probably ought to post more stuff on the business page than we do. But the things that always get the most interaction are kind of the things that like your goofy aunt or uncle would post on Facebook. Like, you know, there's some stuff like that that's appropriate for the demographic, and so some of that can go over to your business page.
Sure. And so why do you do it? Right. It's like, if you're, a lot of advisors tend to say, well, my business is serious. I need to post this Kiplinger article, and I need to, this Money Watch, thing. And here's this video all about taxes. Like, why do you do it? Right. What's the point of you doing that?
Well, you want your people will become your client because they like you, not because you're the best at doing that particular thing you do. Nobody wants to work with the most boring financial advisor ever. They want to work with a friend. So if you acted more like a friend, just imagine what could happen.
Right. No, I think it's fantastic. And too, you're softening people up, right? I mean, there's no doubt that once they see your ads and they're interested, people are going to start looking around and digging on you, right? They're going to go through your own Facebook page, and obviously they're going to check out your website and so forth. But hey, if they go through your business page and they see, all right, here's some funny stuff on here, and I see you guys post things like what we're doing around the office, or, here's this, here's that, all of that is so good because it just softens people up all the way. And I think that's such an awesome piece there. So
every fall we participate in the Toys for Tots toy drive.
Yep.
And so we'll get the box and do that, and then we will email our clients and our prospects our whole house list, and we'll create an ad for Facebook. Hey, we're accepting toy donations Monday through Friday, these hours, for Toys for Tots. And as the stack grows, we'll take a photo and we'll email that out once per week to our list, or once every couple of weeks to our list. Look how big the stack is now. And we'll do a video ad where I'm holding some toys and I'm waving, and hey, this is our box, help us fill it up. And we'll retarget. We can target the 55 plus 6 mile radius. We can also retarget much more affordably clients, prospects, past students, and even upcoming students. So imagine you're about to teach a workshop in November, and you've got your box already for Toys for Tots, and they're like, they see your ad about your workshop, they register. Then a couple of days later, wait, this guy's doing a toy drive for Toys for Tots. This is weird. Isn't he the guy I'm going to see at the workshop? And then a week and a half later, they come see you, and now you're the Toys for Tots guy. You're everything to them. You can really look like a really big deal to your house list of clients, prospects, upcoming students for pennies. One of our clients came in for a review, and he owns his own business. He's like, man, this social media stuff and trying to advertise online, it costs a fortune. He's like, you guys must be paying a fortune, because I see your stuff all the time. There's download, and then there's this video, and there's this other thing. And I was like, well, you're on the house list, so you're seeing us like 20 times a week probably, or something.
Yeah.
Something crazy, where most folks are seeing us now and again, that are the same demographic.
That's so fantastic. You guys obviously have certainly dialed it down. But Scott, I really appreciate you being on here today. I think this has been very enlightening, and I hope that all listening advisors or marketing staff, that you can take this to really learn from this and figure out how to retarget your own list, whether it's people for an upcoming event, people you've had in your database. Even if they're 5, 10, years old in your database, they can still be valuable moving forward. So Scott, my last question for you: how are the Bears going to do this year?
They're going to do horribly.
All right.
I thought one last thought that I just kind of popped in my mind as we're wrapping up. You can also think of the Facebook retargeting as a client retention and referral tool. So don't miss that too. Clients can be reassured that you're on top of stuff just because they see you every few days on Facebook, and they also can be reminded to refer. So there's so many ways that the retargeting can help.
That's fantastic and solid point there. So again, everyone, another episode of Marketing for Financial Advisors, joined by Scott Tucker today. Certainly appreciate it. Scott, thanks again for your time, and looking forward to seeing you all again next time.
Thank you.